Hi, I'm Angus Wright, and I also go by Angus By Design. And this is another day in a personal practice of which I call my Satsang for One, where I listen to an episode of the Ram Dass Be Here Now podcast. I create a journal. I write down some quotes in my physical journal, and then I pull an animal oracle card uh, as a tool for cultivating mindfulness and for reflection. And I do all of this as part of my own personal wellness recovery action planning and as part of my daily maintenance for my own health and wellness. So today's episode is called Astral Fun and Games Part 1. And basically, it's an old, like it's from back in the day, where Ram Dass is talking about um, essentially like psychedelic powers, taking on miracles, and connecting on different planes of existence. So, historically speaking, like, just in terms of my connection to this, I haven't really done psychedelics or any heavy drugs in that sense, but often when talking about different planes of existence, I often think about the places where people go when they're caught up in their mental health stuff. And I believe that there's sort of a universality. I don't know if that's a word. There's sort of a universal experience that goes with any mind trip, right? That's created for by any real reason. So that's that. And the quotes are fairly short today. So the first one's under a matter of miracles. These miracles start a process. They start an opening of faith, and that's Ram Dass. The next one's under astral planes. You've got to understand the way these planes are related to desire systems, and that's Ram Dass. And then the third quote is under our methods traps. Don't cling to whatever plane of reality you're in, including this one, because a free being is not bound by any plane of reality whatsoever. So, yeah, as mentioned, that last quote kind of nails it, right? So, the idea is that um, as people, we are a collection of memories and experiences, right? And those get processed and turned into thoughts and feelings. And often Ram Dass refers to our reactions and our processes as our predicaments, right? The things that we get caught up on. And so the idea around cultivating mindfulness and creating a daily practice and learning how we don't cling to those things is can be kind of universally applied to this principle. So when I look at that and I put that energy into the cards, I'm sort of focusing on the idea of like, how do we operate and manage when we're not able to stay grounded, right? So for me, for example, if I'm having anxiety or panic, I tend to be trying to project myself and my thoughts and my feelings into the future, right? It's kind of like the act of predicting, and I don't have that power. If I'm ruminating and sort of lost in my thoughts, well, there's a good chance that I'm sort of swimming backwards in time and going backwards into my experiences. But the whole goal is to be here now, right? To be in the present. Because that's where we have the most control. And that's what tells us if we're safe versus if we're not, right? So today's spirit is the butterfly spirit. And the butterfly spirit says, transformation is beautiful. And it is. So let's see. Let's see what the butterfly has to say. Butterfly in the sky, I can fly twice as high. Okay. So butterfly spirit. Transformation is beautiful. The oracle message behind this card. Joy and the beautiful lightness of being alive and creative in the world is the focus when butterfly spirit flutters before you. Transformation is inevitable as you grow into your most beautiful, empowered self. Indeed, you will go through some uncomfortable stages as you let go of the forms of your life that no longer fit the new you. Even relationships must go through shifts to match your new emerging self. If you focus on the beauty and not on the challenges, stop taking yourself too seriously and choose to be playful, loving, and joyous, you will soon know the miracle your soul wants to experience through you. Today is a day for joy, so alight. Look around and see the beauty that is everywhere and in everyone, including you. The protection message behind this card. So transformation does not have to be as traumatic or dramatic as things may seem to be right now. Remember, change is the only true constant. When you resist it, you create a tension within you as you refuse to accept the inevitable. In this moment, you might have forgotten the beauty and joy of life as it moves through its seasons, as nature dictates. You are being faced with a choice now. You can struggle with the current conditions, refusing to surrender and see through the lens of lack and loss, or you can surrender to the grace that is calling you to allow life to take its course, moving through the sadness and disappointment. Surrender will soften you, inviting you to bask in gratitude and see through the lens of curiosity. These are the keys to tuning into the infinite potential available to you now. Butterfly spirit knows the beauty and delight you are on the brink of discovering. Let go and trust that it is there for you. Yeah. So I love the reflection in that card, and even as it relates, right? So when we think of, or when I think of the reasons why people might use psychedelics or drugs in general, is sort of the escapism aspect, right? And the wanting to experience and be away from whatever they're going through. And especially from the lens of like seeking, right? So like looking for a reason, looking for the meaning behind things. The reality is that we're all transforming all the time. When I look at this body, for example, it's been transforming ever since I was born. I keep growing into a new body and into a new body. And every time I grow into a new body, um, how much of the previous versions am I clinging to? So for me, right now, right here, I'm a 46-year-old person, right? This is what I look like. But even 10 years ago, I looked completely different. And 10 years before that, I looked completely different. I was in a different place. Um, and so Butterfly Spirit just tells me about, it's like my mantra from here to fruition, right? Here we are now. And what are we turning into? What are we transforming into? And hopefully, I'll transform into a 50-year-old person who's quite wonderful, and then I'll transform into a 55-year-old person who's quite wonderful, and the process will continue. So I just love the idea of being grounded in self and just accepting, not getting caught up, right? Being present with what is here and being able to live in this incarnation, this body, this life, with comfort and ease and surrounded by love, right? As well as sort of just accepting what is as it is. Because, the things I can control are me and where I am right here, right now. I can't control the things I've already done, and I can't start to predict the things that I'll do in the future. I can only hope and stay connected with the idea of what my core values and principles are, who I am as a person, and who I want to be, right? At any given time. So, yeah, I just love that. Namaste.